I had the pleasure of speaking to a fellow long-distance rider and chopper enthusiast by the name of Bob Marshall last week on his podcast called American Roadrunner. American Roadrunner is also the name of the book he recently published that chronicles his experience during a race across America called the Stampede, a race that sadly no longer exists. Many of you may remember this event, but for those of you who don't, it was a no-holds-barred, highly illegal chopper road race from coast to coast. And those are the words written in the magazine by one Mr. Charlie Weissel, who you get to hear today on the American Roadrunner Podcast. Yep, hope you enjoyed our music by me. Glad y'all could join us here today on this, the American Roadrunner Podcast. Today we get to hear from the outskirts of Boulder, Colorado, from a little town called Longmont. One Miss Kayla is on the phone with us. How you doing, Kayla?
Hello, Bob.
Yeah, probably not Kayla. Unfortunately.
No, Kayla's not here.
Damn, maybe we got the wrong number. Well,
yeah,
I guess
you probably did. I guarantee I think you'd probably be better off talking to her anyway, but she's over in Paonia at the moment at the Brushmasters Getaway.
Okay, I have no idea all the coolness you just said. My hair literally all just flew back and off my head. Let's hear all about it. What's Miss Kayla up to?
Oh, wait, actually, first of all, let me ask, who is Miss Kayla for our listening audience?
Oh, yeah. Kayla's my wife and the one who keeps me in line.
Lucky.
And the one who sort of pokes and prods me to keep things happening.
Yep.
And, yeah, definitely my better half. And
extremely talented artist.
Oh, incredibly talented artist, and which is basically what that Brushmasters Getaway is all about. It's in a little town called Paonia, Colorado. It's a little mountain town, beautiful place. And the Brushmasters Getaway is basically a collective of the top pinstripers and painters that are sort of in the motorcycle and automotive world. And it's a private event where people pay to go to, and they offer classes and all kinds of seminars and stuff on how to become basically a better artist.
Cool. So is that how you guys met? Like, were you guys doing your own motorcycle thing and you guys ran into each other? And
Yeah, absolutely. We actually met in Arizona. And at the time, Kayla was living in California. I was, of course, here in Colorado. And we met in Arizona at a party called Chopper Town. That's just outside of Payson. I guess at the time it was actually outside of Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Prescott. I like how you actually said it correct. To all of our Arizona people who heard you say Prescott, they're like, yes, he won points for calling it the right thing.
Prescott, yeah.
How long you guys been married?
Coming up on 2 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, that's
still
really
honeymooners.
Yeah, pretty much. August 12th will be 2 years.
Yeah, do you guys have any kids?
Nope, no kids.
Yeah, stay away from them.
Yeah, no kids, but we've got 4 motorcycles and a dog, so I think that's enough responsibility.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Yeah, well, she's a terribly, terribly talented artist, terribly talented person. It's pretty exciting to get to see all the good stuff she does. She's at Inferno Art, right? That's the name of her company?
Yeah, Inferno Art Studio, which is also the website, infernoartstudio.com. And
right.
Yeah, man, I mean, she's just absolutely so talented. It blows my mind. Everything she touches just kind of turns to gold.
Except you.
Yeah, except for me. I mean, I'm still waiting on that. Jeez.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, does she have an Instagram tag so we can check it out, or the audience can check it out while they are listening to us?
Yeah, she totally does. It's Kayla Inferno Art.
Kayla Inferno Art.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Awesome.
I think I had to remember too when I met you guys. We were in LA and it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I know our friend Jesse Combs actually introduced us. We were in a bar or something, weren't we?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were. We were over there at the David Mann Chopper Fest.
That's right. I think it was it the evening before? Boy, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was one of the days. That's funny. Jesse's motorcycle is actually in my garage right now.
Oh no, you're watching the wife's girlfriend's
Yeah,
motorcycle.
Well, she stayed with us for a couple nights, and then she flew to New York or something. But yeah, that's exactly how we met.
Yeah, that was crazy because I got to tell you, how did I? And I don't remember. Well, I'm trying to tell the story of how I met Jessie. And I think it was earlier that night, and I'm just sitting there, and she just walked up and started talking to me. And I had no idea who she was. Yeah, I had no idea who she was. I think she just saw that I was a fellow land speed racer and started chatting it up. And boy, she had some great stories, and I realized she was the one flying the North American Eagle, which I had read about, but I didn't put together that it was her. Well, she was driving the North American Eagle. You don't really fly it, even though it's a plane. I guess technically you pilot the darn craft.
Right.
Boy, that thing was sweet. And unfortunately, one of the gentlemen who put it together, Ed, he passed away, I think just over a year ago. Anyways, she's done some really cool things in land speed racing. So we had a good land speed chat. And then she introduced me to you guys. And I think
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, she's she's incredibly talented at what she does.
Oh, I totally agree.
And it's funny. A couple nights ago, we were just sitting around our kitchen table, and I got to telling her about what me and you were about to do here.
Yeah.
And she was pretty pumped about it. Everybody I've told about it so far has been pretty excited.
Well, we haven't gone public with it yet, so we shouldn't talk about it. We don't want people to know we're getting married.
No, good point. Good point. Yeah, we should probably keep that quiet for the last second.
That's right. We'll keep all the listeners in limbo for a minute. I'm actually real excited to talk about your book.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, well, I remember last time we spoke several months ago on one of the earlier podcasts that we did. You were real excited about telling me that you were putting together a book, which I love. I love to hear. I love it when people tell me about the books they're putting together, but I'm going to be real honest when I say it doesn't always come to fruition. But I reckon looks like yours actually did, because it's on pre-order right now.
That's correct. It's on pre-order on InfernoArtStudio.com, and then will be available to purchase June 12th on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and again, InfernoArtStudio.com. So, so June 12th is the official release date. And, this is a book that we've been working on a long time now.
Now, what's it called?
It's called Roads Are for Journeys, Motorcycling Through Europe.
Man, that's bitching.
Yeah, and the idea being that Roads Are for Journeys will always stay. And then as we do other trips that we feel like are worthy of writing a story about, the second part will change.
Great.
So the Roads for Journeys will hopefully become a series.
And it's quite the tabletop book. I think you guys have it's a hardback, color, non-black and white. It's like all color pages or something, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's all color. There's over 150 photos in there.
Wow.
And then, plenty of reading as well. So, we tell stories about all kinds of things. We talk about food, culture, places we've stayed, just sort of the overall insight into kind of how we took the trip, and kind of, from my side, and then she writes about it from her side. And so we sort of shared the load on the actual writing part of it. I did probably 70% of the writing. But Kayla did, the rest of it. So we definitely I think it'll be good for the reader to get sort of two perspectives, a little bit from her and a little bit from me.
Well, I think it's a damn dream come true, getting to write a book with your partner. Holy hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, seriously, you guys are rocking it.
Yeah, and it helps having some, person like her to do this with, because she's so creative.
Right.
That she's able, to take those stories and all the photos and put them into a presentable book, where, if I were to try to do that, it would just be a total mess.
Yeah, I would agree. I would totally agree. Well, and I give you a ton of credit. I think even on pre-order, it's a good $40.
Yep.
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
right. Yeah.
that's really good, man.
Are you guys going to be doing any kind of limited editions, like any signed copies if people go to your website and pre-order? Or what kind of things like that are you going to be doing?
Yeah, we are doing signed copies for
Nice.
anybody who pre-orders.
Nice.
Perfect.
And then, of course, if we hand the book to you on site, we'll sign something in there as well.
The artwork of American Roadrunner can be found by The Bow Monster. That's The Bow Monster on Instagram. Also check out www.bomonster.com. The Bow Monster. Cool. Do you have any events planned where you're going to be signing in person, like any bookstores or motorcycle events?
We don't at the moment, but that is definitely something we need to start thinking about.
Yeah, I know somebody to talk to about that. This guy Bob, he's really good at doing those motorcycle event book promotions.
I have
Yeah, but
gotten.
he's kind of a hack. I don't know if I would take his advice.
He's kind of a hack. Now we go. Here we go. This is great.
You're right. He does get a bunch of attractive women to sit around the booth and attract people, and then the book just flies off the
I just assumed
shelves.
you paid him.
Exactly.
It pays him compliments.
Well, that and that's the way to do it. But I obviously I wrote my book by myself. But boy,
Yeah, we were definitely open to any sort of advice on how to navigate this. So, the first step for us, I think, was just trying to get the thing finished.
yeah,
Because, between both of us working full time, and then the monthly articles for Cycle Source magazine,
right.
and then of course all of our time on the road, it's sometimes it feels like the amount of time that we had to actually commit to it at home was so limited, which is why I feel like it took so long to actually get it finished. But now that it is finished, it's like, okay, it's done. Let's just stop and pause and focus on that. And then now let's think about the next step as how to actually get it out there.
So, should you tell him, Brian, or should I? Yeah, it doesn't work that way. This is your new child. You get to nurture it. You guys already know. Kayla's put out a few books already.
Yep, she has.
Yeah, different artwork books and photographic books. Really good stuff. I think there was one she wrote with Jesse Combs, like a nonfiction young child adventure story.
Yeah, that was that kid's book that they did together.
Yeah, what was that book called?
Joey and the Chopper Boys.
That's right. That's right. I hadn't gotten to collect that one yet, but I need to pick that one
so
up.
Jesse did the writing for that, and then Kayla did all the illustration for it.
Man, that's good stuff.
Can I ask you some writer's questions?
Sure.
Okay, so what is your process? Like, how do you write? Where do you write? Like, how do you get into that mindset that makes you explore your thoughts and put them onto paper?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's not easy. For example, like my articles for Cycle Source, that I do every month, for me, it's this process of sort of thinking about it for 2 or 3 weeks. And then the process of actually getting it out of my head and onto paper is relatively quick. The hard part is trying to figure out, what do I want to write about? How do I want to say it? What am I really trying to say, kind of beyond just the story? And what I find is that once I sort of figure out the basis of what I want to say, then I pretty much just lock myself into my bedroom where I can't be bothered.
Nice.
Someplace quiet.
Okay.
And then I can just hammer through it.
So you find a good theme, and then from there it kind of writes itself.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I would actually go as far as to say that I tend to write most of it in my head before it ever even comes out on the paper.
So we would call that gestation. That's when the baby's growing before it's even born.
Exactly.
Cool. And do you self-edit, or do you have somebody else who helps you out with that part of the process?
No, I do it all myself.
Oh, that's difficult. We are our own worst judges, so
it really is. I have to force myself to slow down and read each and every word.
Yeah. You know what I like to do when I'm editing is I will print it out in a different font, and that way I'm looking at it with new eyes, and it looks like something that I didn't write. It looks like something somebody else wrote, so it's a lot easier to be an objective reader when it seems like it's somebody else's stuff.
Wow,
that's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
I'll
try it out.
Well, although, Charlie just said he hammers it out, so I suspect you wrapped it on a typewriter first, right? Are you writing
Yeah.
it on a typewriter?
Yeah. I'm still working on a typewriter. Then I tie it around the neck of a pigeon,
Oh,
and
there
then
you
I
go.
send it off to Pennsylvania.
Shit. I freaking walked into that, didn't I? I do like the different font idea. Yeah, for me, I blow it up to 150% on the laptop, and that way it looks really big. That's how I kind of go through my edits myself. That's after I type it on a typewriter. But
Yeah, no, I do all my writing on an iPad.
Ooh.
Actually.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I do everything on an iPad. I don't have a laptop, and we have a desktop here at home, but
Mm-hmm.
with the iPad, I can stuff it into a saddlebag, and I can do it wherever I want.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, and I'm happy to always remind everybody. Most of my book I wrote on my phone, and I would just kind of write it, do my rough draft that way, and then when I got home, then I'd sit down with it on my little laptop and put it together from
definitely.
there.
Yeah, I mean, it's convenient, and it's always right there in your pocket. So if you think of something,
Right.
and you want to get it down before you forget,
Right.
Yeah, technology is
it's an
great.
easy way to record those thoughts.
Yeah, you know what? Technology is great if you're able to use it in all these different ways. Personally, part of what I like to do is I like to put my phone on dictate and I'll brainstorm some ideas and just speak them into the phone, and it'll come out really rough and scrambled. But from there, usually, I'll find an idea in its truest form, and then from there, I'll pick it up and I'll start writing and stuff like that. So I've found that between dictating, just saying the story out loud, and also going back and then writing it, you're using almost like two different parts of your brain.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting you bring that up, actually, because I at one point I was having a thought that maybe it's not as far-fetched as I think it is. I was like, man, how cool would it be if you could, because like on helmets, you can use those Sena Bluetooth things that have a microphone on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, how cool would it be if you could connect that to your phone, so as you're zipping down the road, you can talk into it and have it automatically dictate onto the phone.
Well, I told Bob to do something like that for the podcast, but he said all you would hear is from the wind rushing by. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear your own thoughts.
Yeah, I rock the 3/4 helmet still.
Oh, that's the problem. You need
Yeah.
a full face helmet. Yeah.
Well, then how would I drink my coffee and eat my beef jerky and smoke my cigarettes? Like, these are all questions to be answered. So,
Yeah, you have to put like a little mouth flap.
right. Maybe get it all through a hose or something. I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, you have to drill a hole in the front for your cigarette.
Right.
Slide the cigarette through.
It would be worth it to try and figure out how to do that, because I know personally whenever I've ridden a bicycle, I kind of go into a meditative state with my thoughts, and I have some really good ideas, and if I had a pad of paper that I could write that stuff down while I'm riding a bike, I'm sure I would be a much better writer. So if you can harness that thought process and hook a mic up to your helmet while you're riding, I think that would be a really good thing for you.
Yeah, I agree. I should look into it.
Yeah, and I've looked at it a few times where I've stopped and just punched out a few things on. I use Google Docs on my phone. I'll admit that. I don't use Microsoft. I use Google Docs, so I'll pull it up and just write some notes. And I figure if it's good enough to remember for half an hour, 2 hours between fuel stops, then maybe it's worth keeping. But I bet you I've lost a lot of stuff that I thought of,
Yeah.
and then gone from there. But yeah, it's a good idea, that's for sure. And you can dictate into your phone, and I know Tracy has a program while we record the podcast here, and the whole time the phone's telling her all the words we're saying, so that way she can go back and edit it as needed.
Yeah.
So I know the technology's available.
Yeah, I'm sure it's available. I'm just not very good at that technology stuff.
Yeah, me neither, I reckon. Do you have a Sena?
I do.
Uh-huh.
I've used it for nothing more than playing music.
Yeah, that's what I use mine for too as
I
well.
mean, it can do all kinds of cool stuff. I don't know how to operate it, though. I've never, I take that back. I've never taken the time to figure out how to truly operate it. I just connect it to my phone and stream Pandora, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I connect it to my phone and listen to audiobooks, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little
About
dorkier with it, but it works out pretty well. It works out pretty darn well. Speaking of, I actually just downloaded a few books because I have a journey I'm going on soon enough. On road. So I'm happy to announce that Charlie and I are not getting married. He's already married, and I'm never getting married again. We can totally debunk that rumor. It is not true. Charlie and I are not getting married. He's not my type anyways. He's got the whole beard thing going on and kind of gross. You're kind of skinny.
Scratchy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you have a beard too, Bob. I don't know if you looked in the mirror lately.
Yeah, exactly. Not into it.
We probably get stuck together like Velcro.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Now we're
Velcro or
talking.
sandpaper.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So a while back, Charlie and I were chatting it out, and we were trying to figure out who was faster. So we came up with a way to figure out the answer. And just a quick shout out to one of our Riverside locals, Speed King Cycles. Steve and Amy can hook you up with all your custom needs for Harleys and beyond. Speed King Cycles here in Riverside. I hear they might also be carrying one acclaimed book, American Roadrunner. Check them out, Riverside, Speed King Cycles. And that way is pretty darn simple. Charlie and I are going to be racing. We're both going to be doing the Ride 1K in a day. We're going to end up in Coos Bay for the Oregon run, the first night of the Oregon run. So we will be racing Friday, the 28th of this month, which is June, right? Am I saying that right? Friday, June 28th?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and so he's going to be starting in, what city are you starting in?
I'm going to be starting in Salt Lake City.
Okay, at Hampton Inn, I think, right? You're really doing it up. You're staying somewhere super cool.
Yeah, well, a hotel there somewhere in Salt Lake City. I just got the official address for the destination in my email, so I had to adjust the starting point a little bit.
Really?
Originally, I was going to start in Park City, but then once I got the actual address, I mapped that out, and so I had to readjust a little bit. So I moved it up a little bit further west to Salt Lake City.
Okay. What's going to be your total miles from Salt Lake City to the address in Coos Bay?
1,009.
That's really good because I think I'm up at 1,032, but it'll all work out real well. I'm pretty excited. And I get to jump up kind of the long way to Bakersfield, and then I'm going to cut up to Reno. And you and I will be on similar roads from Reno on.
Yeah,
So
once we hit Reno, we're going to be on the exact same route.
that'll be nice, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing you broken down on the side of the road.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to seeing you get a flat tire on those tacks I was going to throw on the road.
Nice.
It's starting to sound like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner right here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I have no problem sabotaging.
you can try. I run those bulletproof tires on my cop scoot. That's the benefit of those. You can get those bulletproof tires. So
Well, then I'll bring actual bullets and test that.
start shooting at my tires. Yeah, they're a little heavy, but apparently they're bulletproof. They'll run when they're out of air. Oh, that's hilarious. No, Charlie, I'm really looking forward to running this little challenge with you. I think we're going to totally rock it. I'm excited to see some choppers out flying down the freaking highway. And who knows, man? Who knows who's going to win? That's going to be the exciting part.
Yeah. I've been talking to Kayla about this quite a bit, and I just keep telling her, I was like, this is going to be a challenge. I was like, Bob's actually done this stuff before, 99% of the chopper riders out there, most of them have never done a 1,000-mile day.
Yeah.
Even fewer have raced it.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of guys that would even consider taking that on. So, of course, after you brought it up, there's no way I was going to say no.
Now, Charlie, when you do these kind of rides, do you ever document it? Do you take pictures and post them on Instagram or Facebook or any of your other social media as you're doing it?
As I'm doing like the 1,000-mile days?
Yeah.
It kind of depends on. Sometimes, sure.
Okay.
There's been times I haven't. Sometimes I was not in the mood. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and don't want to take the time.
Okay.
But other times I've done all kinds of documentation about it.
Well, I'm gonna recommend to our audience who's gonna hear this before the actual race that they need to check in on your Instagram and the American Roadrunner Instagram to check out your stories and listen to all the shit talking that's going to go on live. back and forth, while you guys are doing this 1,000-mile journey.
There'll be no shit talking. I don't talk shit. Everything I say is very true.
Yes, you do. You've already started.
Listen, you're like half the man I am. So good. By half, I mean you're probably 130 pounds. But I think you're gonna do your very best, and I'm excited to see what your very best is, young man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I don't know if you. Well, actually, I got really excited when I realized that we're both going through Reno.
Yeah.
And Reno's pretty much the halfway point as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, man, okay. So once we hit Reno, we're both on the same road.
Yeah. Well, and
it could get interesting.
Well, and I promise, I know, boy, I wish I had $1 for every time someone asks me this, but the answer is you and I will not see each other. We will not see each other at all, no matter.
Oh, I find it very unlikely, that we'll see each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be so far ahead of you.
Nice.
Well, Bob's going to put the cop lights on his motorcycle again, so if in the rearview mirror you see somebody flashing to pull over, it's just Bob.
Yeah, go
it's
very
Bob
fast.
Trying to pass you. That's all that is.
That's right.
Yeah,
go as fast as you
is.
can to run away from the lights, Charlie. Run away from the lights.
I feel like there should be a rule that says you can't use cop lights to get around traffic.
No, rules aren't. No, we got too many rules in this world as it is. I'm not up for rules. Just a few simple rules. The chopper thing is good.
Hardtails only.
Right.
Can't have a windshield.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no soft motor mounts, no chase vehicles.
Yeah, no soft motor mounts. Yeah.
Yeah, no chase vehicles. We'll make it happen. It'll be a good one, and I'm excited to see. I've never raced just 1,000 miles, so I'm pretty excited about it. I've always raced 3,000 miles, and when you're racing a good 3,000 miles, that's when people start dropping off, and it really turns into a mental.
Right.
Yeah, it's all mental after that point, and it's mechanical as well. Can your bike go that far, that fast, etc.?
Yeah, that's one part I'm worried about. I was like, geez, hope my bike holds up.
Yeah, me too. I'd really hate to have it blow up in between your legs and you finish without any nuts.
I really don't think I'll have any issues, but that being said, that motor's got a lot of miles on it too, so.
Yeah, that's true. And I've got that fresh new donor that probably only has 70 or 80,000 on it, so.
Oh, do you really? Yeah. See, my motor's got, since the last rebuild, it's been 85,000 miles.
Yeah. Adds up quick.
I think it'll do just fine. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, you probably should not go over 60 miles an hour. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I don't think I'll adhere to that advice.
Yeah, it happens. I'm
gonna try to keep it over 90 the whole way.
Cool.
Hey, I'm looking at your article in Cycle Source. Your motorcycle, is that the one that you're going to be riding? Or do you have another one in mind that you're going to be riding for this trip? One thing at a time, most of the time. Check out our friend Jake with the Flying Dutchman Co. With all your motorcycle and customization needs. That's the Flying Dutchman Co. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube at the Flying Dutchman Co.
Nope, it's that one.
It's that one? Okay.
Yeah, his slung out chop with the forks that are 28 feet long and the car rear tire. Oh, did you ever score a spare fuel cell?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
This is great. I love it. This is great. It's probably 28 gallons. He's probably never going to have to stop for fuel.
Yeah, I'm actually just pulling a trailer full of fuel.
That's great. It's just all hopping down the road behind you. I love it, man. Oh, that's killer. Well, you're going to have a good time, and I'm excited to see how it works out for you. And
yeah, it's going to get interesting, too. If you look at the end of that route, it starts to get pretty curvy, and I think it ends on dirt.
Yeah, it does. I think you're going to wash out and eat crap, so good luck.
So right there at the very end, when we're both exhausted, we're going to come into some tight, narrow, twisty dirt roads.
Yeah, it'll be it's quite the campground up there. And I don't remember what the campground's called. I just got the info the other day from that guy Adam who puts on the Oregon Run. I know you did as well.
I don't know either. He gave me the address, but from what I could tell, it isn't a campground.
Man, I bet you he gave you the wrong address so I could win.
I'm starting to wonder.
It's like up in the hills though, on a dirt road. Yeah. Well,
yeah, it seemed like it is because I looked at it on Google Maps. Like the satellite view, and it just looks like a forest. Like there's nothing there.
If you arrive and there's two guys with shovels and a shallow hole,
nice.
Turn around and go the other way.
Go back to the city proper.
banjos.
Oh my God. The city proper of Coos Bay. Although he did say coming in from the east is the way to go. Just coming from the east, not from Coos Bay.
Yeah, he said go through Coos Bay that direction. Otherwise, you'd be like 2 hours of dirt.
Oh, no, I think he said coming through Coos Bay, you get 2 hours of dirt. So you should go the other way, Charlie.
Are you misleading him?
Yeah, I really think he is.
Charlie feels misled now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to write some directions on my tank and hope for the best. So I'm excited.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because none of the GPSs keep up on the choppers. They just crap out. They get all bent out of shape. The electronics crap out. So it's never worked for me. So I'm really excited to see how it all turns out for us. So I hope you survive. What did Jessie have to say about it?
Oh, she was pumped about it. She was like, "No way, 1,000-mile race on the road. That sounds awesome."
Yeah, well we'll have to get her on it someday.
Who's Jessie?
Jessie Combs. Who's Jessie Combs? Your turn, Charlie.
Oh, first off, she's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
She's I'd say one of the world's best female race car drivers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really describing her right, but she's done Baja 1000 successfully and King of the Hammers and land speed records and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much the stuff that the rest of us only dream about doing.
Well, and that's it. And I think she inspires a lot of people to do some really bitchin' stuff. She also has that. She does those welding classes where she.
Yeah, the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal. That's what
it is. That.
Oh, you know what?
Kayla's actually a part of that too. Again, I hope I described this right, but I would say it's basically females touching.
Females touching metal. All right.
No. Yeah, let's go with that.
You just got Tracy to piss her pants. Holy heck. Oh, that's great.
I think the goal is to inspire females to get into the trade.
That's right. Just a quick thanks to one of our sponsors and friends, one Mr. Curtis Morgan with Ride 1K in a Day. He's getting the app put out. Check him out on the Instagram, Ride 1K in a Day. Challenge yourself, Ride 1K in a Day.
I hope that's right.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I just turned around and remembered I've got this cork board full of cool land speed stuff, and somewhere near the top I actually got a picture of her that she signed for me back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's got a great picture of her in her flat suit.
It's not that picture of the girl that's dressed as a cat for Halloween. That's not her.
No, that's that's my son.
Oh, I can't tell. It's somebody dressed as a cat.
That's right.
He points to this corkboard. I'm like, oh, okay, somebody is a cat. All right.
No,
sounds like a cool person.
I still got a picture of her up on the wall. That's funny. And I got to run into her at that girls' moto show in L.A. there a few months ago. Well, maybe 6 months ago. Anyway, she's doing real well. It was good to catch up with her. So. I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glad you all got to hang out for a minute.
Yeah.
So you think you're up for this race? You going to be okay?
Oh, I'm going to be more than okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're not going to need anything? You're not going to fall down and get any boo-boos?
No. I eat, sleep, and breathe choppers and big miles and fast speeds.
Nice.
Hey, Charlie, what do you do to prepare for something like this? Do you eat a big meal beforehand, or do you fast? How do you mentally prepare for a 1,000-mile trip?
I think, honestly, what I do is I just break it into small segments. When I leave and get on the bike at, pretty much 4 a.m. every time I do it, I break it into, 100-mile segments.
Okay,
and
so you stop for a couple minutes
at a time.
Okay.
Instead of trying to look at it as I'm gonna go do 1,000 miles, that can be a little bit daunting. I just kind of set little milestones along the way, and it's like, okay, I'm 100 miles. Let's aim for the next town. That's 120 miles up the road. Okay, cool, I got there. Let's aim for the next town.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a
good. Break it
into
little small, manageable sections.
Yeah, that's a good way to break it down. I do tell you, though, I always like to eat a really big meal right before I take off and drink lots of iced tea. So if you eat a really big meal and drink lots of iced tea, you should be good to go. What's so funny, Brian?
Yeah, right.
What's so funny? Nobody believes me?
I don't tend to eat much, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, Bob gets this funny look in his eye when he's thinking of sabotage.
Yeah, I know he is. I'm not falling for any of this.
If you can see it right now, he's winking at me.
No sabotage needed.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you should do, Bob, here's what I would do. I would drink like 5 Red Bulls.
Nice.
Like right before you get on the bike. And then just be sipping coffee the whole way.
Oh,
And then, they say like a liter of water an hour is the best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of dried fruit.
Need a damn condom catheter to keep up with all that. Holy hell.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. A lot of dried fruit. I love it.
Yeah, eat lots of apricots.
Well, and that is
Yeah.
that is a downfall. I know Charlie wears a suit and I wear overalls, so it's not very convenient for us to stop and use the bathroom. But
No.
yeah.
I'm not too worried about it. I have a plan.
yeah, well, it's a good one. You're leaving at 4 a.m, so I got to leave at 3 a.m. I think that's pretty asshole of you, but hey, I'll take it.
I think I'm doing you a favor.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And that's because of the time difference, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the time difference. Exactly.
Yeah. So you start in the Central Time Zone. Bob starts in the Pacific Time Zone.
Yeah.
I'll be in the Mountain Time Zone.
Oh, Mountain Time Zone. I'm sorry. Central is like way far away.
1 over. 1 over. Not too far away, but enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Interestingly enough, though, I should hit that Bob's time zone relatively soon.
yeah.
I have to look at a map. I'm not quite sure where the time change is over there.
No, and that's always a downfall to racing east.
Yeah, that would mess me up personally. I
oh,
would lose
yeah.
track of time, trying to do the adding and subtracting. Math isn't my strong suit, even if it's plus or minus 1.
Yeah, no, mine either. And I usually, I just haul ass. I don't worry about what time it is.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to visit my mother out in Phoenix, Arizona for Christmas, and she's like, "Hey, you gonna be here for dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'll be there around 6." Then I arrive, and she's like, "You're an hour late. Dinner's cold." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I have
great.
no idea that Arizona doesn't do the whole time change thing like California does.
Yeah, which makes it really weird. But for us, well, I guess it'd be the same for you too, I suppose. For us, half the year we're the same time as them, and the other half we're not.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it is weird. California voted to possibly change that. We'll see if they decide to. They didn't vote to change it. They voted for the legislature to decide if they want to change it. So we might get rid of that in the next year or two. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
So then you guys can leave at the same time, I guess.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
would
don't know
have.
if that part really matters too much. That's figure if anything for Bob that actually helps because you 1 extra hour of not having to think about traffic.
Well, and I was going over that. Yeah, I'm going to hit some traffic in Bakersfield. They don't have much traffic, so I'll be good. More so I'm worried about the traffic in Reno. But
In Reno?
Yeah, but I think you and I will both be hitting it at the same time. And being from California like I am and having all the cop lights, I'm really good at splitting lanes. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to probably sit in traffic. I'm just kidding. Yeah, don't be afraid to split lanes when you're in California. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, absolutely not. I will not be.
Yeah, well, it'll be a good one for us, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. That's for sure. I mean, if you finish the race and all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll wait for you to get there. Don't worry, we'll hang out.
Appreciate it.
Hey, so what's at stake? What is the winner going to win, and what is the loser going to have to do to degrade themselves at the end of this race?
This is wrong.
Yeah, we haven't really discussed anything like that.
No, we just came up with a good battle plan to. Heck, we just got the route figured out yesterday. So.
Yeah,
I think although people have been asking me, so what's the point of this? What is there a prize at the end? And I'm just like, no, this is just pure bragging rights.
I think the loser should have to do something degrading, whether it's wearing a sash that says "first."
This is hilarious.
First loser, or wearing like a ballerina skirt on the way home. I don't know.
Oh my God,
I was
Charlie!
going to wear a skirt anyway.
Yeah, having that breeze up your kill, it's probably going to keep you cool when it's really hot out, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, you need that across Nevada when it's 110 degrees.
Yep.
Well, I think when you get there too, what date is your book coming out?
June 12th.
June 12th. So I think everybody there is going to want a copy. So you're going to want to bring a good 100 copies of your book. I wouldn't mind getting a signed copy.
He's trying to load up your bike right now.
Yeah. So just bring
Yeah.
bring like 100 copies so everyone else can buy a copy off you. You'll have lots of cash and you'll be
I'll
golden.
see if I can stuff those books around my 80-gallon auxiliary fuel tank.
80 gallons.
Well, I was gonna say, the long front of your bike, you can probably get a really long, maybe like a TV box, a flat TV screen box, put
This
it
is
right in
great.
between the forks, and then fill that with like 100 books. It might look a little weird, but I think it can fit.
We'd
I
be
think it's
rocking it.
doable.
Yeah.
This is rocking it. This is great. This is great. Well, I'm pretty excited about your book, Charlie, and I'm excited to see your face when you lose a 1,000-mile race against Bob Marshall. And I'm even more excited to have graced the pages of Cycle Source with you writing an article about me. And more so, I really enjoy in the article how you relate the cool shit that you do
You're so
to the
humble.
cool shit that I do.
Bob, you're just so humble.
It's a good article, man. I'm just saying.
I love your article about me, Charlie. It's
That's right.
awesome. You make me sound better than I really am.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So if y'all haven't picked it up yet, well, I reckon it's off the newsstands now.
It's all well deserved, Bob.
I appreciate you, my friend.
And Charlie, one more time for all the listeners that do want to get a pre-order copy of your book, I'm sure there's a limited number. How can they message you and get that money to you so you can get a limited edition book signed?
Yeah, you can order that on infernoartstudio.com.
Perfect.
Find the link for books and go from there.
And are you those signed copies? Are you going to have like numbered signed copies so they're really collectible?
No, we're planning on that.
Well, you should. I mean, it can only increase the value with all of our listeners who are going to want to get that first run.
I would just number them all number one, and that way they're worth more.
Yeah, they're all just number one.
Well, that's not hard for Bob. He can only count to 10. So
Yeah, I just go 1 to 10 and then start over again.
I want to make Bob's number 11. That'll really confuse him.
Yeah, that'd be way too much. Way too much for me. I'm pretty excited. You guys have your own Instagram too for the book. Roads Are for Journey.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can reach out to me on Instagram if you want.
Right.
And that is Charlie Traveling Chopper.
Nice. And then the book itself has its own Instagram. Roads Are for Journeys.
Roads Are for Journeys.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a good one, man.
it's a great title. I'm glad you grabbed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
that was
is.
Kayla's idea. That was a good one.
Well, I'm sure it was Kayla's idea. I don't think you're smart
Yeah, it
enough to
wasn't
come up
mine.
with something that good. Holy
Fuck's
heck.
sake, I'm not that creative.
That's right. Well, that's good stuff. I'm glad Kayla's out freaking rocking life. I really think they should be paying her if she's there. She should not be paying for it, but that's just my opinion. But it sounds like she's having a good time. Bummed we missed her.
Yeah.
We were looking forward to chatting with her way more than we were looking forward to chatting with you, but we'll take what we can get. In the meantime, Charlie, big thanks for hanging out with us today. And holy heck, man, we're going to be hanging out with you in a few weeks here, so...
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
That's right. Okay, for all the rest of you, keep your rubber side down. This has been American Chopper. Enjoy the music of Meek.
See ya.
And I have no idea why I said American Chopper. This has been the podcast American Roadrunner. Hope you all enjoyed the good joke. Again, till then, rubber side down. We'll talk to you soon, my fellows. Have a good one.
We jump from gravity to